Hey everybody, we're playing Hogwarts Legacy and we are working on breeding every beast in the game. I'm going to show you where every beast den is located. I've entered timestamps in the description if you're looking for one specifically, but more importantly, I'm going to walk you through some setup that will pay dividends in attempting this achievement. Quick tip, there are 13 beasts, but you only need 12. The first thing you want to do is talk to Deke in your room of requirement and complete his side quests up to unlocking your third vivarium. I actually went ahead and unlocked 4 vivariums, but it is not necessary for this achievement. Talking to Deke and completing his missions, he will eventually assign you the task of rescuing Thestrals and breeding them. During the Thestral quest, the Thestral den will be marked for you. Remember, you need a male and female beast of each breed. This will be your first bred beast, so you won't have to do this one again along with the other beasts that you rescue past this point, reducing your breeding requirement for this achievement to 11 other beasts. A couple of quick tips: if you use your cloak spell, it makes it easier to sneak up on beasts, at which point you can use your Levioso spell. It will hinder the beast's escape attempt and make it easier to rescue them. The Thestral is one of the hardest beasts to rescue simply by the number of interactions it takes to complete, but once you've rescued a male and female, you will need to purchase a breeding pen at Tomes and Scrolls in Hogsmeade, also marked on your map during this mission. The breeding pen will be highlighted for you should you need money for this. I posted a quick and easy guide for money in the game, so check that out if you'd like. With the Thestrals rescued and breeding pen purchased, return to Deke in the room of requirement, and this will trigger your third vivarium to unlock. I then enter this vivarium to complete the side mission using Conjure spell to build a breed pen. So you'll simply wait for your swamp to officially unlock, and then you'll go inside there with your Thestrals in your inventory and breed them directly from here. So at this point, I'm simply using my Conjure spell to conjure a breed pen. So we have a breeding pen, we're going to place this down, and then we're going to breed our Thestrals. You'll run up to the sign outside the den, and as long as you have a breeding pen and both a male and female of the same breed of beast, you can select that beast in the menu and start the breeding process. At this point, you may notice that there is a timer above the breeding pen, indicating that it's going to take 30 minutes to breed this offspring. It is not necessary to wait for that with the way that we're doing this. And just as a side note from here, if you speak to Deke again, his next side mission will be to rescue a phoenix. Once you've completed this side quest and returned to Deke in the room of requirement, your 4th vivarium will unlock, which is what I decided to do, but it's technically not necessary. You only need a total of 3 vivariums, so completing the phoenix mission is not 100% required, especially considering you will not need to breed the phoenix. So that is the one of the 13 that you will not need to breed. But having more than 2 vivariums is key to this breeding all beasts process, because you cannot have more than 4 species in each vivarium at a time. So instead of breeding some, waiting for the breeding process to complete, then breeding more, you can set up enough breeding pens in 3 different vivariums, giving you enough pens as are beasts in each area. So unlocking the phoenix here and rescuing it is just a bonus. One last piece of advice before you start rescuing beasts: you can visit this shop in Hogsmeade called Brood and Peck. Should your inventory fill up before you've captured a male and female of each species, you can sell any excess here. This is a great way to earn currency in the game. With all of this knowledge and preparation, we're off to rescue a male and female from each beast den. Feel free to skip ahead to any beasts you might be missing. Remember, Deke's mission gave you the Thestrals already, but just as a reminder, their den is north of Hogsmeade, near the most northern section of the map, should you need to return there for any particular reason. Now we're just going to jump to the very end so I can show you the fruits of your labor. You have all of your beasts paired off, male and female. What we've done is we've already pre-built pens inside each vivarium. 4, 4, and 3 is what we're looking for. We're going to dump 4 species off in the first one, 4 in the second one, 3 in the last one. And as mentioned before, you do not have to wait for the breeding process to complete. All you have to do is simply interact and start the breeding process for each of these, so you won't have to wait the entire 30 minutes, and you can do this with multiple vivariums. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Thanks for watching. We will catch you next time. The Unicorn Den is going to be north of Hogsmeade in the Forbidden Forest. Now, the unique thing about the Unicorn is that there is only one in this location, but being the case that you need a male and a female, you are going to have to return here. The other interesting thing about the Unicorn, or unique thing rather, is that it requires the most interactions of any beast that you have to rescue. So I highly recommend your Levioso spell here, just so you can have a leg up on that competition, because they do run away from you pretty quickly. But if you access this Fwooper north of the unicorn den, you can spawn a new unicorn. Your Graphorn is going to be located in the southernmost area of your map. This is actually part of a story mission, this area. To unlock the Graphorn, you have to fight a Graphorn, and is the case to rescue one, you will have to fight one every time. So the obvious issue here is that you need a male and a female, and if you keep getting males or keep getting females, you're going to have to redo this a few times. But much like the unicorn, if you simply just spawn at a Fwooper nearby, you can respawn a new Graphorn. The Jobberknoll den is located north of Hogsmeade. It's going to be right in between that Fwooper and the Thestral den. So right there in the middle between those two icons. And what's interesting about the Jobberknoll den is that it's this tree essentially. These birds are flying around it, right? The jaybirds. And in order to catch them, you're essentially going to have to wait for them to get low enough for you to hit them with a spell. So I was monitoring the direction of this one and it busted a U-turn. So I hit it with Levioso and easy enough. 2 interactions for this one. Not too bad. For your giant purple toads, there are multiple locations, but I picked this one that was northeast of Hogsmeade. So right up here on this hill, the toads are relatively simple to deal with. They aren't very fast. They can't get away from you that easily. And Levioso should do the trick for you. The interaction count for the toad is low, 3 at most 3. So pretty simple. There are multiple here, so you really won't have to worry about respawning either necessarily. Similar to some of your other beasts, the Pufferskins have multiple locations, but we're looking at this one that is southwest of Hogsmeade. This one's very simple. 1 interaction for the Pufferskin, and there are multiple here, so you should have no problem capturing a male and a female in one go at this. Don't necessarily need to hit a Fwooper. There is a Niffler den that is west of Hogsmeade. It is up in some trees, right inside all of these other icons. Zoom in. Shouldn't have any problem seeing this, and you shouldn't have any problem capturing the Nifflers either. They can scurry away from you, but the interaction count is 3, so not a big deal for the Niffler. Might have to respawn a Fwooper, but should be pretty simple. There's a Mooncalf den just to the west of Hogwarts, and what's interesting about the Mooncalf is that this has to be done at night, alright? So there is a Mooncalf den Fwooper right there. This should be very easy for you to get to, but confusing when you arrive here during the day and there are no Mooncalfs around. So you want to open up your map and switch to nighttime, and then immediately you see all these things start to scurry away. So there should be plenty here for you to capture a male and a female pretty easily. They can scurry pretty quickly, but only a 3 interaction for this one, so it shouldn't be too difficult for you. Your Kneazle den is going to be to the southeast of Hogwarts. There is a Fwooper. There's a little town just north of there and a Fwooper there. It's covered currently by a side mission, but I promise you there's a Fwooper there. And the Kneazles have an interaction requirement of 4, but not too terribly difficult for these either. Should be able to get it pretty easily. And there are multiple Kneazles in this area. There is a Diricawl den south of Hogwarts. The closest Fwooper to this is going to be in the valley northwest of the den. There is nothing difficult about the Diricawl. There are multiple in this area, but just pay attention to any zombies that might pop up at you out of the ground as you're capturing these things, as happened to me here. It does require an interaction of 4, but there are multiple here. Shouldn't have a problem with the male and female. There is a Fwooper den in the southwestmost corner of your map, just northwest of Feldcroft. The Fwooper is an easy rescue. They have an interaction requirement of 4 when using your knapsack. There are multiple in this area. Their den is a tree, essentially, that they will fly around, so you'll have to contend with catching them out of the air, but with multiple Fwoopers, you shouldn't have a problem here. Just be sure to hit them with that Levioso spell, and again, interaction of 4 here, but multiple you can see flying around, and right after this one, I happen to catch another one, so not too terribly difficult. There's a Hippogriff den in the southwest corner of your map, northeast of Feldcroft. What's interesting about the Hippogriff, 2 things. There are only ever 2 in this area that I've seen at a time. So if you happen to have both males in this area or one of them flies away on you, you are going to have to respawn this area. But the other interesting thing is that it does have a high interaction rate. It's not surprising necessarily, but it is one of the higher ones of the beasts available to you. So you may have to retry this a few times. And again, if you run out of hippogriffs, simply open up your map, access the nearest Flame, and respawn more hippogriffs. The last little tip that I have for you is access your inventory. Take a look at everything. Make sure you have a male and female of all of them. You should have 22 at this point.